We have a story now about a teacher who flunked Facebook 101. June Talvedy-Seipel, a supervisor of high school math and science in Cohasset, Massachusetts, a Boston suburb, wrote comments on her Facebook wall that she thought could only be seen by 50 friends. She described students as germ bags, called parents arrogant and snobby, and said she was not looking forward to another year at school. After some parents read that, the superintendent asked her to resign, and joining us now exclusively is the now unemployed June Talvedy-Seipel. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Such an interesting story because you think you're in the absolute privacy of this group of, what, several dozen friends, right?
Yeah, it was about 50 friends and family members.
Yeah. And if you view the things that you said in context,
right,
they're far less incendiary, from my perspective.
Thank you,
right?
I appreciate that.
Right, because, for instance, you're talking about the kids being germ bags. You had gotten sick how many times that school year?
I was sick most of the school year.
Right.
I even ended the school year with pneumonia.
Mm-hmm. So you'd been on repeated medications and everything else. And so in this particular case, you're referring to the students as?
Germ bags, but, it was a joke,
Right. My gosh. So, and then you go on to say, now I remember why I stopped teaching. They're all, because they are. You go into a school, it's like kennel cough.
Right.
Everybody
That's
is sick at one time or
That's
another.
Right.
Other comments you made, though, were about the parents, and that was something about a conflict going on in the school, right?
Right. Actually, the school district has been going through a lot of turmoil, and there's been a lot of conflict between the teachers union and the administration and the school committee and the community in general.
Right. Yeah. And so then that ends up. Had you any idea that any of the things that you were saying could have been viewed by anyone else other than the people that you thought were your friends on Facebook?
No, I had my privacy settings set. And I know that that's the case because of a conversation that my students had about, gee, Dr. Seipel has a face page. That's great. Let's go look at it. And another student say, no, you can't. It's all blocked out. Right. And Facebook made changes to their privacy policy. And I just recently looked up to see how that could have happened. And it turns out when they made that, they default things to being open. Right. You have to opt out of that.
Yeah. So every time it changes, and how would you know on a day-to-day basis unless you're really paying attention?
You had to be really paying attention, and I was working 12 and 14 hours a day and very, very busy. So, even if an email or something like that did come across, I didn't see it. If it had been on Facebook, I actually don't use Facebook that much.
Probably be using it a lot less in the future.
Probably.
Just very quickly, your message to other people would be using Facebook. I think you were certainly caught in a very sort of innocent communication with friends, cost you your livelihood.
Yes.
What's your message?
My message is that you have to be very, very diligent, far more diligent than I am. I am a technology person, and yet I got caught short. Yeah. And even today, I was looking at the newspaper, and there was an article about places coming out. Yeah. And that's a GPS function that if you have that on your cell phone for Facebook, anybody can find out where you are.
At any given moment.
At any given moment. And you have to opt out, not opt in.
Wow. June, thank you very much for sharing your tale with us.
You're welcome.
Sorry about everything.